Do you always sit in this corner? His voice startled me. I looked up from my notebook, pen frozen midline. I like the quiet, I mumbled. The whole library is quiet. He smiled, sliding into the seat across from mine. No invitation. No hesitation. Just him. Ryan, I should have told him to leave. I didn't. You're Mira, right? The girl who always writes in blue ink and never looks up? I blinked. You notice things. I notice you. He leaned back, arms crossed, eyes smoldering like some forbidden flame. You don't talk much, do you? I talk, I said, clutching my notebook like a shield. Just not to people who interrupt my poems. He laughed, and it hit somewhere deep. Like being chosen in a crowd you didn't even know you were standing in. You write poetry? Not for the public. Lucky me then, he said, grinning. Read me one. I should have said no. Instead, I flipped to the last page and pushed the notebook across the table. He read in silence. My heart pounded like I was standing naked under a spotlight. His eyes softened. That's beautiful. Sad. But beautiful. Most beautiful things are sad, I said. They just don't last. He looked at me like I'd handed him my bones. The rain started just as the library lights flickered. The guard coughed a warning. Closing time, you walking? He asked, slinging his bag over one shoulder. Yeah. Mind company? I paused. I don't know you. Then let me walk and fix that. I don't know what made me nod. Curiosity, maybe. Loneliness, probably. Outside, I popped my umbrella open. He leaned in without asking. He was close, closer than I was ready for, you know, he said, water dripping off his lashes. Most girls would have flirted back by now. I'm not most girls. He grinned. That's why I noticed you. The walk was short, but the silence stretched long, comfortable, almost electric. Like the air between us was made of tension and chance. My apartment's 2 blocks that way, he said, pointing left. You? Across the pharmacy. You live alone? I nodded. Dangerous. I shot him a look. You're saying that while walking next to me at midnight? He laughed. Fair. But I'm harmless. Well, mostly. We reached my door. I should have said goodnight. But I hesitated. Thanks, I whispered. For not being creepy. Just a little annoying. He leaned in. Can I tell you something weird? I swallowed. Okay. I've seen you here for weeks. Always by the window. I never had a reason to talk to you. Until today. Why today? Because you looked like you were trying not to cry. I froze. He took the umbrella from my hand, closed it, and stepped even closer. My back hit the door. My heartbeat screamed, you don't have to cry alone, he said, his voice soft, almost reverent. I should have pushed him back. I didn't. He kissed me. Gentle at first, like asking a question. I answered without words. My fingers clutched his hoodie, my lips parted. I forgot where I was. Who I was. When he pulled back, his breath was warm against my cheek. I've wanted to do that since I saw you holding that stupid blue pen. I don't even know your last name, I whispered. Don't worry, he smirked. You'll learn it screaming. I gasped. He winked. Too far, he asked, laughing. Definitely. But you're still smiling. I was. Damn it. He stepped back, handed me the umbrella. Good night, Mira. Good night, Ryan. He walked away without looking back. I pressed my hand to my lips, still burning. Still shaking. What just happened? I didn't know, but I knew one thing. I was in trouble, and for the first time in a long time. I wanted to be. I swear, I've never felt like this about anyone. Ryan's fingers brushed the inside of my wrist like I was fragile. I didn't know love could feel like a flame, soft in one moment, burning the next. You always say the right thing, I whispered. He grinned. That's because it's the truth. We were lying on his couch, limbs intertwined. A movie played in the background. I hadn't watched a single frame. I shifted slightly. Why do you always turn your phone upside down? What? Your phone. You flip it over every time it buzzes. He laughed, too fast. Habit. Distractions off. You're all I want to see. I smiled, but something in my chest tightened. Later, when I reached for my bag, his phone lit up. A heart emoji popped up next to a name I didn't recognize. You going to check that? I asked.
Nah.
He pulled me back down. Let's not ruin the moment. But it already felt cracked. Nita took one look at me across the cafeteria. And sighed. You didn't sleep, did you? I stirred my coffee. We were up late. Talking. Mostly. Right. Talking. She raised an eyebrow. Let me guess, he made pancakes at 2 a.m., played a sad playlist, and told you about his tragic childhood? I gave her a look. He didn't say it was tragic. Mira. Come on. You're glowing and spiraling at the same time. I bit my lip. It's not like that. Isn't it? She leaned in. He's intense. He watches you like he's memorizing you. And then disappears for hours. You haven't met a single one of his friends. I hesitated. He says they're drama. That I'm his piece. Nita laughed, dry, sharp. When guys call you their piece, what they really mean is, don't ask questions. Okay, that's not fair, it's true, she said. And deep down, you know it. I pushed back my chair. I have class. She didn't stop me. Just called out, red flags don't stop being red just because they're wrapped in roses. His apartment always smelled like cedarwood and cinnamon. Too perfect. Too staged. I slipped off my shoes and he pulled me into his chest. Before I could speak, I missed you, he murmured into my hair. You saw me yesterday. Not enough. His lips found my neck, and I melted, stupidly, dangerously. That we ended up in his bed, skin to skin, words lost between kisses and breath. He traced my spine like he was writing secrets into my bones. Say it, he whispered. What? That you're mine. I hesitated. He pulled back slightly. Mira? I'm yours, I said, even though I didn't know what that meant anymore. He smiled like he'd won something. I love you. He said it while buttoning his shirt the next morning. Like it was casual. Like it wasn't war in my chest. I sat up slowly. Why now? What do you mean? You've never said it before. He turned, looked me in the eye. Because I didn't want to say it until I meant it. You mean it now? Of course. A pause. Unless you don't? No, I stopped. I do. Liar. That night, I stared at my reflection. My eyes were smudged, my lips bruised, my soul quiet. I texted Nita, are red flags still red in the dark? She replied immediately, only if you turn the lights on. The next morning, I picked up his phone by accident. It was identical to mine. The lock screen flashed, missed call, Kira.
Mwah.
I froze. He walked in, towel around his neck. Hey. You looking for something? I held up the phone. Who's Kira? He blinked. No one. No one uses a kiss emoji? She's just a friend. Do your friends call you at midnight? His jaw tightened. You're being paranoid. I'm being honest. No, he snapped. You're being insecure. Again. That word, again, hit like a slap. I dropped the phone onto the couch. Forget it. He grabbed my wrist. No. Say what you want to say. I looked at him. Really looked. I want to believe you. But I don't. Something flickered in his eyes. Not guilt. Not fear. Annoyance. He let go. Then maybe you shouldn't be here. Silenced, I nodded slowly. Maybe I shouldn't. I grabbed my coat. My heart didn't crack. It crumbled, but I didn't cry. Not until I reached the elevator, the next day. He texted, Ryan, I'm sorry. I was out of line. You mean more to me than anyone. Can we talk? Ryan, I love you. I stared at the words, typed, okay. Deleted. Typed again, okay, pressed send, because love shouldn't come with fear, but mine did, and I still stayed. One new message request, Instagram. I tapped it without thinking. The profile picture was a girl. Pretty. Confident. Hair like she knew how to turn heads. Stranger alert 13, hey, sorry if this is weird. But I saw you with Ryan outside that bookstore. Last week. I think you should know, he's not who you think he is. Damn, my stomach twisted. I blinked. Reread. Again. Me, who are you? Stranger alert 13, his other girlfriend. Or, one of them. Sorry, I dropped the phone like it burned me. Why are you shaking? Nita grabbed my phone before I could lie. Her eyes scanned the screen. What the hell? I don't know who she is. She knows him though. I sank into the bench. What if she's lying? She sent a screenshot of their messages. I didn't need to see them again. I'd memorized every word. I have to talk to him. No. You don't, Nita snapped. You should block him and move on. I can't. Not like this. Mira? Ryan opened the door with a half smile. Didn't know you were coming. I didn't plan to. I stepped inside, heart hammering. He closed the door slowly. Okay, what's going on? I pulled out my phone. Held it up. Do you know someone named Kira? Or Alina? Or Saba? He blinked. Why? Because they know you. He chuckled. Oh. This again? I stared. Again? You're being dramatic. Are you cheating on me? He tilted his head. You're really gonna believe some random girls on Instagram over me? They sent proof. Fake screenshots. People do that all the time. You're calling them liars? I'm calling you insecure. His voice dropped. Just like last time. You told me I was your piece. And you are. He stepped closer. But when you act like this, like what? Like I belong to you. I froze. I thought that's what love was. He smirked. Love isn't ownership, babe. Don't call me that. Why not? He brushed my hair behind my ear. You still came here. You still care. I came for the truth. And I told you, no, I cut him off. You deflected. You twisted everything. Again. Mira. He sighed. You're overthinking. You always do this. It's exhausting. I stared at him. At the man I once thought saw my soul, and all I saw now was a stranger with perfect lies. I'm tired too, I whispered. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. Or the one after that. I kept scrolling. Obsessing. Zooming into photos like some deranged detective, different girls. Different cities. The same caption, lucky to have him. Every time I saw his name, I felt like throwing up. 3 days later, I saw him by accident. I was walking past that cafe, the one where he first held my hand, and there he was, holding someone else's, laughing. Leaning in. Kissing her right there. In daylight, I stopped walking. My breath caught. Knees went weak. I grabbed the nearest wall. Amira, a voice called. I didn't respond. The girl turned. Alina, from the DM. She didn't see me. Or maybe she didn't recognize. I bent over and threw up on the sidewalk hot. Bitter. Like every lie he ever fed me was leaving my body. You okay? Nita's voice crackled through the phone. He kissed her. I croaked, oh Mira, in the open. Like I never existed. She was silent. I wiped my mouth with my sleeve. I think I hate him. No. You hate who he made you become. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me, and you know what, Mira, she added, what? He doesn't deserve a single tear. But cry anyway. Get it out. I already did. Then don't cry again for him. Not even once. I sat on my bed that night and stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Ryan, you okay? Haven't heard from you. I stared, typed, saw you today. Kissing Alina. He read it, didn't reply, didn't deny it, didn't explain, just left me on read, and in that silence, I finally got my answer. Mira? I didn't answer, Mira, unlock the door. I stayed curled under my blanket, the pillow damp beneath my cheek. Nita knocked again. You haven't texted in 3 days. If you don't open this door, I'm climbing through your window. I didn't move. Fine. You asked for it. I heard her feet stomping outside. Then silence. Then my window creaked. Jesus, I muttered as she tumbled inside. She stood over me. You look like a ghost. I feel worse. She sat on the edge of the bed. When was the last time you ate? I didn't answer, Mira. You can't do this. Do what? Breathe without feeling like my lungs are on fire? She grabbed the trash bin. You threw up again. I nodded. You're not okay. No shit. She sighed, brushing my hair off my forehead. He doesn't deserve this version of you. I don't even know what version this is. The broken one. But it's temporary. You'll come back. Will I? Yes, she said firmly. But not if you keep rotting in here. Later, I sat at the table, staring at a piece of toast. It stared back, untouched. My mom sat across from me, sipping tea like nothing was unraveling. You're skipping classes? She said softly. I'll catch up. You haven't washed your hair in days. I'm busy falling apart. She didn't flinch. Just said, he wasn't worth it. You don't know him. I know the way you've been sleeping in your hoodie like it's armor. That's enough. I looked up. Why do you always stay quiet when I'm hurting? Because when I talk, you shut down. Maybe I don't want to be fixed. She placed her cup down. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm trying to hold you before you disappear completely. That almost broke me. Almost to AT University, I tried to blend in. Hoodie up. Eyes down. Walk fast, Amira, someone called. I froze. Professor Armin stepped beside me. Do you have a minute? I'm late to class. You've missed 4. I swallowed. You okay? I'm fine. You don't look fine. I met his eyes. I'm not here to talk about my personal life. He nodded. Then let's talk about your talent. What talent? Your writing. Your essays. The way you used to show up hungry to learn. I laughed, bitter. That girl's dead. She's not, he said gently. She's buried under pain. But she's breathing. What if I don't want to dig her out? Then you'll suffocate with her. That night, I scrolled without meaning to. My thumb moved before my brain could stop it. There it was. A photo. Ryan. Alina. Arms wrapped. Smiling. Caption, finally. Official.
Bling bling.
Dizzy, I stared. My heart didn't break, it hollowed. He got what he wanted, and I lost who I was. Mira, Nita whispered when she found me on the bathroom floor, phone still in hand. Look. I shoved it toward her. She winced. Don't. He never even told me we were over. Because he never saw you as real. I choked. But I was real. I know. She hugged me, held me so tight I couldn't fall apart. But now. You have to be real for you. My mom knocked on my door at midnight. I thought she'd scold me again, but she didn't speak. She sat beside me. Hand on mine. Silence between us. Did you ever love someone who didn't love you back? I asked. She didn't hesitate. Yes. What did you do? I cried. Then I remembered who I was before him. I nodded slowly. I don't remember. Her. You will. The next morning, I showered, put on clean clothes, that didn't check his profile, that didn't reply to his last message from days ago. You okay? No, Ryan. I wasn't, but now, I would be eventually, even if I had to rebuild. From ashes. You dyed your hair, Zoya said, her fingers reaching out instinctively before stopping midair. It suits you. Thanks, I murmured, tucking a copper-red strand behind my ear. Felt like I needed to become someone else. She leaned against the cafe table, stirring her iced coffee. Or maybe you're finally becoming you. I smirked. Deep for a Tuesday. Trauma makes philosophers of us all. I laughed for the first time in weeks. It felt strange, like trying on an old jacket that doesn't quite fit anymore. Are you still writing? She asked a little. I looked down at my notebook. Scribbles. Half-finished lines. The kind of writing that bled more than it bloomed. I signed up for the open mic tonight. Zoya blinked. You? On a mic? Voluntarily? Don't act surprised. I used to have a spine. Well, good. Let the bastard hear your voice from the echo. I smiled, though my fingers trembled just slightly under the table. Later that evening, as I stood backstage holding my notebook, I could hear the host call my name. You okay? Zoya whispered, no, I whispered back. But I'm doing it anyway. That was something, right? I wrote this, I said into the mic, my voice shaking just enough to feel real. After I realized silence wasn't strength, it was a bruise. The room was still. I didn't remember the exact words. I read. Just the way my voice cracked when I said betrayal, and how everyone went quiet when I said, I loved him more than I loved myself. And then, applause. Loud, forgiving, full of something I hadn't felt in a long time, released. I was walking out into the cool night air when I heard it. Mira? I turned. And there he was. Ryan. My stomach coiled. You look different. You look exactly the same, I said flatly. He laughed like we were in on a private joke. I saw you on stage. Didn't know you could do that. Neither. Did I? His eyes scanned my face. Can we talk? No, he stepped closer. Just 5 minutes. I didn't move. Didn't flinch. Why? Because, he ran a hand through his hair. I just want to check in. See how you've been. Like you did the night you kissed her outside our cafe? He blinked. That wasn't. Don't, I interrupted, my voice calm. Don't gaslight me again. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. Ryan exhaled. You look good, by the way. I almost laughed. You always did. Like your damage pretty. He reached for my hand, and this time, I let him just for a second. Just long enough to remind myself how weak I used to be. Then I pulled away. You know what hurts more than what you did? I said quietly. That I begged the universe to give me a reason to forgive you. And it gave me a mirror instead. I turned, walking past him, down the street, heart racing but strangely light. You okay? Zoya asked when I got back to the table. Better than okay. She raised an eyebrow. What did he say? Nothing I didn't already burn out of my system. I scrolled through my phone and landed on the draft of the poem I didn't read tonight. Forgiveness is a blade you hand your enemy, with the warning label still attached. I deleted the line, then typed, sometimes the best revenge is silence. And walking away prettier. The next morning, my mother knocked gently before stepping into my room. You're up early, she said. I nodded, brushing out my newly dyed hair. Had a dream I was drowning. Thought I'd choose to breathe this time. She sat on the edge of my bed, eyes soft. You've been quiet lately. I know. You don't have to explain. But I wanted to. He made me feel like silence was my only safe place. But now, I'm learning to make noise again. She touched my cheek gently. You always were the storm in this house. I smiled. Don't lose that, she added, before leaving me in the golden hush of morning. Zoya texted later. Z, what's next for you? I stared at the screen, typed. Deleted. Typed again. Me, I think I'll let karma handle him. I've got living to do, and this time, I meant it. The DM came in at 1:03 a.m. Alina, can we talk? Please. Alina, I don't know who else to message. Alina, he cheated. On me. With my cousin. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed to me, tomorrow. 4 p.m. Hazelnut Cafe. She looked different this time, eyeliner smudged, voice hoarse, no smirk. Just swollen eyes and trembling hands. You came, she said, sliding into the chair across from me like we hadn't met in the worst possible way. I said I would. I didn't think you'd say yes. Honestly, I wouldn't have. Not if I were you. You're not me. She laughed, but it cracked. God. He had me thinking I was crazy. That I was paranoid. I found lipstick on his hoodie, and he told me it was mine. I don't even wear lipstick. I used to ask him if he liked my lipstick, I muttered. He said he never noticed what shade I wore. Of course he didn't. Her fingers clenched around her coffee. You know what's worse? It wasn't even just the cheating. It was the lying. Like, he didn't even flinch. He'd look me in the eyes and swear he loved me. I stirred my tea. He said the same to me. Right before I caught him outside the cafe with you. She flinched. I swear, Mira. I didn't know. I had no idea. I believe you. You do? I wanted to hate you. I really did. But he made sure we never saw each other for what we were, just girls who got caught in his games. She looked up slowly, like I just handed her something precious. My cousin's only 19. She said he told her we were, basically, over. That I was dramatic. That I needed help. I blinked. He used the same line with me. Told me I was too intense. That I took everything personally. Jesus. She let out a bitter breath. How many more are there, you think? I stopped counting when I stopped caring. We sat in silence. Not awkward, not tense. Just two tired girls finally putting the mirror down. You dyed your hair, she said. I needed something new. Something mine. It looks good. Thanks. She looked at me for a long moment, then asked, do you still love him? I inhaled slowly. No. I miss who I thought he was. But not him. Same. She smiled, weak but real. You know, I always thought if something like this happened, I'd fall apart. Cry for weeks. Post vague Instagram quotes. But I haven't cried since the night I found out. Maybe you already did all your crying while he was lying to you. Her eyes shimmered. That's the worst part. I kept saying sorry to him. For being upset. For asking questions. For existing, basically. Same. He'd call me too much, and I believed it. I shrank myself just to be easier to love. Her jaw tightened. We gave so much for someone who gave nothing. Exactly. I leaned forward. But here's the thing, this isn't about him anymore. She tilted her head. Then what is it about? Us. The way we keep blaming ourselves. The way we keep getting quiet so boys like him can stay loud. She looked down at her coffee. You think we'll ever stop blaming ourselves? Only if we start choosing ourselves. She met my eyes. So, you're not mad at me? No. I'm mad at him. But mostly, I'm tired of being mad. He's not worth that much of my time. Her voice dropped. I still catch myself checking if he's seen my story. Isn't that pathetic? No. That's human. She nodded slowly. I deleted his number last night. Good. And I blocked him on everything. Even better. She smiled. You're stronger than I thought. I smiled back. So are you. We didn't hug. Didn't promise to be friends. But we didn't need to. Something had already shifted today as we stood to leave. She looked at me and said, he's gonna spin. It, you know. Say we're bitter. Jealous. Crazy. I shrugged. Let him. We know the truth. We walked out together. Not broken. Not bitter. Just done. My peace kept him warm. Now he's shivering in his own chaos. That's the line that kept circling my head. The first message came on a Wednesday. I miss your calm. Everything felt quieter when you were around. I stared at it for exactly 17 seconds before deleting it. No reply. No reaction. Not anymore. 2 days later, I've been thinking about us a lot. You were always safe. Safe. Like I was a house. A pair of hands. A coat in the storm. Not a person. Not a woman. I didn't answer that one either. Instead, I edited my poem. Again. And again. Until each line felt like a dagger dressed as silk. The cafe was dim. String lights buzzed softly. The mic stood alone. Zoya leaned in from beside me. You sure about this one? I nodded. Okay, she whispered, then smirked. Kill gently. When they called my name, I didn't feel fear. Just stillness. Like the kind before lightning. I walked to the mic, cleared my throat, and read. She gave him softness, he mistook it for silence. She built him temples, he burned them for the warmth. The room faded, she loved him in full sentences. He only listened to echoes. I didn't look at the crowd until the end, and then I saw him, back of the room. Hoodie. Hands shoved in his pockets like guilt might fall out. He wanted worship. But forgot, even goddesses get tired. Silence, not even a cough, and then, his footsteps leaving the door creaked. Slammed, and I knew he heard every word. Back at our table, Zoya slid me her latte. You didn't say his name. I didn't have to. You okay? I'm free. She smiled. So, silence was the plan all along? No. Silence was the weapon I didn't know I owned. That night, he messaged again. You wrote that for me. I didn't reply. You hate me. Still nothing. Please just say something. I turned my phone face down, let the night take him. The next morning, I woke up light. I brushed my teeth humming. Humming. I hadn't done that in months. Over breakfast, my mom blinked at me. You're glowing. Just indigestion, I teased. She laughed, and I realized she hadn't laughed with me in a while. Later, Zoya and I sat on campus steps. She nudged me. He's spiraling. How do you know? She showed me his story to a black screen. White text. People love to watch you fall. Just don't give them the satisfaction. I blinked. So dramatic. Zoya smirked. Wanna reply? I shook my head. Let karma keep cooking. We laughed. Another message. Why are you being so cruel? Cruel. No, cruel was turning my love into leverage. Cruel was making me question my worth. Cruel was lying with kisses and gaslighting with smiles. I was not cruel. I was silent, and silence is only cruel when truth is loud. At the next open mic, people clapped before I even read. Familiar faces. New ones. Zoya cheering like a stadium. I stepped up, spoke softly. Sometimes they
Goodbye.
Isn't loud. It's in the way we stop explaining. Stop waiting. Stop bleeding for apologies that never come. A pause, he wanted to be remembered. I gave him a poem. That's more than he deserved. Thunderous snaps, someone shouted, "Preach." I bowed. Afterward, Zoya linked her arm through mine. You're kinda a menace with a mic. I'm just getting started. Still thinking about him? I shrugged. He's a comma. I'm the whole sentence. She grinned. So what's next? I looked up at the stars. Felt nothing but peace. Next? I write about something real. Something mine. He kept messaging, but I never answered again, because I finally understood, I wasn't punishing him with silence, I was saving myself with it, and that was louder than revenge ever could be. I don't stalk him anymore. Zoya raised an eyebrow. Not even a late-night scroll? Not even a just curious peek. Damn. Growth. I laughed, swirling my coffee. It's been 4 months. I think I've detoxed. You're like, thriving. Terrifying, right? She grinned. No. Beautiful. I journal now, not sad, desperate entries like before, real things. Future things, like how I want to decorate a reading nook with mustard yellow pillows. Or how I'm applying to grad schools far from anything familiar. Or how red lipstick feels like armor. You always said it looked too bold on you, Nita said, tugging on her straw. It did, I said, applying it in the mirror. But now it feels right. Zoya clapped. Hot girl lipstick era unlocked. I don't know if I'm a hot girl, I shrugged. Oh, you are. You just forgot. One night, under fairy lights, we sat on the rooftop wrapped in old shawls and cheap laughter. You ever think you'll fall in love again? Nita asked. I paused. Eventually. But I'm not in a rush. What if he writes to you again? Zoya chimed in, then I'll laugh and eat a cupcake. We all burst out laughing. I didn't expect the letter, thick envelope. Familiar handwriting. I knew before opening it. Ryan, the first line, if I could undo everything, I would. The second, but I know I can't. So this is me trying to apologize, right? Pages of it. A chronicle of regret. A litany of late realizations. You gonna respond? Zoya asked. I stared at the flames licking the edges of the paper. No, why not? Because closure isn't a conversation. It's a decision. The paper curled, blackened, and disappeared into ash. Some things don't deserve a reply, especially when the silence says more than words ever could. The mirror showed a woman I barely recognized now, sharper cheekbones, brighter eyes, lipstick stained with courage. I touched the reflection and smiled. Not because she was flawless, but because she survived. You're glowing, my mother said one afternoon, watching me pack an envelope. Grad school application, I said. Finally. She nodded, her eyes warm. I always knew you'd find your way back to yourself. Funny thing is, I said softly, I think I found a new version. That night, I walked past the cafe where Ryan first kissed me. I didn't flinch. Didn't pause. Didn't replay the moment. I just kept walking. And no flashbacks. No ache. Just air. I feel like I reclaimed something, I told Nita the next weekend. Like what? My voice. My spine. My fire. You really aren't going to check his socials ever again? I smiled. Nope. Not even if he dates a model? Then good for him. He'll need someone to reflect off of. Zoya choked on her drink. You savage. I shrugged. I'm healed. Not wholly. Later, under the same fairy lights, Nita handed me a Polaroid. Me in red lipstick, laughing. I tucked it into my journal. A reminder. Of this chapter. This version. This freedom. Some people write their stories to be read. I write mine to be lived. And now I walk away. No dramatic
Goodbye.
no aching hope, just steady feet. And a heart no longer looking back, because I am mine again, and that's the best ending I never saw coming.